Hello, Wolfgang.
Hello? Yeah.
Hi, you got Andrew on the line. How are you?
I'm okay. How about yourself?
Very good, thank you.
Okay, so my understanding is you're interested to talk about print, packaging, and print media market, yeah?
Yes, I mean, I guess it's sort of an opening gambit from me. I mean, clearly, Flint often, I sort of, looking at this from a debt perspective, and historically Flint was always a business that was sort of, bouncing up and down a little bit. I mean, you'd obviously have some currency, some raw material pricing, and ultimately, you could often offset some revenue decline with cost reductions. But just in the last 12 months, the business has seen a really material decline in profitability. And what I look to get out of this conversation, Wolfgang, is, a lot of that sits within the print media division, and clearly there are structural pressures in that market. But what I'd be very interested to get from you is why it has deteriorated to the extent in the last 12 months. Is it a case of, the seeing deteriorations in effectively all the ancillary products as well as the inks themselves, and, the customer base is weakening somewhat? Just keen to get your views on, because it is a business that's sort of gone sideways. It's obviously had some acquisitions to bolster the numbers too, but in the last 12 months, as I said, it's such a material decline that just keen to get your views.
Yeah, okay. So my first of all, just so you're aware, I do not have the specific numbers which you have access to of the last 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I can just take what you're saying now, because and even though if I would have access, I would very likely not be allowed to comment on that. On the hard fact numbers. Now let's start with the market segments, which are the key segments forming print media. Yeah. So first, let me go list the headlines, and then we can go segment by segment, through them and understand what are the market trends.
Yep.
And what is competitive environment, and then what has changed. So at the end, conclude the most likely reason what happened the last 12 months, and probably more important, what is the outlook which you can expect out for that in the next 12 to 24 months.
Yep, that is helpful.
Does it make sense? To do it like that. Okay. So the segments, you can classify them in magazines, in newspapers, in catalogs, in retail print, and also at the end, which is more a classification of a printing technology rather than a market segment, and that is sheet-fed printing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the segments, and now we can go through them step by step. All those segments are forming a part of the print media division. The way how it is structured today. Having said that, there was a recently organizational change, obviously, where these segments are now part of print media. The change was that sheet-fed was before that not part of print media. Now is, I must say, again, part of print media, and we can also have some discussion why that makes sense or not makes sense. Now, when we look to the segments, the newspaper is a permanently declining market. The shrinkage is unchanged on a yearly basis, anything between 10 to 15%. So if we look to Europe, then these are the market trends. If I compare the North American market today is maybe 40% only of the size it was 8 or 9 years back. Yeah? So it's a permanently decline, and that hasn't stopped. There are some differences that regional newspapers are a little bit more stable, and the shrinkage rate is smaller.